as a leader, how best can we boost the local investment and enterprise development post COVID-19?
Well, I think government should empower the local investors and the local producers moving forward. The same incentives that are given to the foreign investors should be given to the local investors, because in times like this, they are all we have. We should empower local talent. We should empower local innovation, so that in the times to come, Uganda can sustain itself by its own people. We should also empower local production, so that at least we change the trend. We start exporting more than we import, so that we can be able to earn more than we spend.
Bobi Wine, thank you so much about that. Let's look at the health sector here. At the outbreak of COVID-19, a lot of perspectives changed. What picture did this paint to you with regards to our health sector? What do you make of our health sector with all this pandemic in motion?
Well, Andrew, for a very long time, we have been crying to the government to improve funding for the healthcare system, to improve working conditions for the health workers, but this has all fallen on deaf ears. It is known that our leaders, the elite class, the politicians, they always go outside Uganda for their health, for even the most minor of their healthcare needs. And that left our healthcare system to rot. Moving forward, excuse me please. Yeah, moving forward, I hope that the government of Uganda will invest more in the healthcare system. Moving forward, I hope we start looking at our health workers, the doctors as the nurses, and the nurses as important as we look at the generals and the RDCs. We maybe have got to learn to major on majors and to minor on minors. Right now, as this epidemic continues to ravage the world and Uganda as well, I hope we even start in this period to improve the conditions, the working conditions of our health workers. I even believe that the health workers should be given an allowance, because in these times they're working overtime, and we can even project more busy and stressful times for them in the days to come.
Talking about family, you as a leader, you've been at home for all these days. You've stayed at home. How have you managed, especially with your children? How have you maybe stepped them through this entire situation, and what do they make of COVID-19?
Well, I think that question would be more ideal for an ordinary Ugandan. I'm lucky that I'm a member of parliament who gets a salary from parliament, and I'm fairly, settled financially.
Okay.
My only need is to teach the children and those that I can be able to communicate to take this more serious. But looking at the ordinary Ugandan, who we as ordinary Ugandans have a saying, meaning working for a meal a day. Looking at an ordinary Ugandan who is a border rider, who is a taxi worker, who is a market vendor, one can only imagine the strain they are going through with their families, and that is the reason why we continue to call upon government to relax the restrictions. For example, our inability to help the people. If government gave standard operating procedures, but let people be able to help their neighbors, I'm sure very many individuals and companies in Uganda would love to donate relief food items to their fellow Ugandans. But again, they are stopped by the presidential directive, because they would be technically committing attempted murder, according to what the president said. So I think we should put politics out of this and let every Ugandan, let every effort be utilized in these desperate times.
Kyagulani, your last words to Ugandans as we wind up this conversation?
My last word to Ugandans is will certainly get through this. Everybody is necessary. Everybody's idea is important. Everybody's help is important. Let us not put politics out of this. Let us not be divided. This is a time where we must be most united as Ugandans. We are in this together, not only as Ugandans, not only as Africans, but as human beings. Let us, first of all, teach everybody. Let us send out information. Let us sensitize each other. Because we as Ugandans, the biggest part we can play in the fight against the COVID-19 is to stop its spread. I dread to imagine a time when the COVID-19 has spread through Uganda. Our healthcare system is ailing. So all we can do is to stop the spread, and we certainly can stop the spread. Okay. So let us all play our part. Let us be our brothers and our sisters keepers. And my very final word today is the birthday of the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Mwenda Mutebi. Sajja nange kankozesa omukisa guno sebo okwagaliza amazaalibwa amalungi gaze mu mbeera mbi naye gajja kwongera otugatta yoga Mukama akutukuumire. And to all Ugandans, let us hold together. Let us be brothers and sisters. To the leaders, do not politicize this. Let everybody play a role because this is important. And very finally, to the Ugandans in China, to the Africans in China, we are with you. We are rooting for you. It is very unfortunate that you're being treated like this, mainly because you're black. We've seen videos that are very disturbing. I'm in touch. I've written to various heads of state in Africa here, and I'm also working with other friends, including the Black Lions in Atlanta. We want to repatriate. We want to get special planes to repatriate the Africans in China, and we are in talks with different governments. Once we have a country that allows in those Africans, we want to get them away from China, because in 2020 we cannot let any black man be disrespected on account of their skin. We are human beings. We have more than 50,000 Chinese living here in Uganda and more than 1 million Chinese living in Africa. So I'm also calling upon the Chinese administration to reign on their officials, to reign on their people. The government of Uganda, the African Union, the international community, they should reign on China and have them respect the rights of black people, the rights of Africans, the rights of Ugandans that are in China. We are with you, brothers and sisters. Ugandans, we are together. Africans, we are together. We will certainly go through this.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kyagulani. Well, that was a great interview we had with Honorable Kyagulani. He's live at Kyamagero. He has actually highlighted on a couple of issues. And thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. We'll take a break and we'll be back shortly.